Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to the Southman Auto Channel. Sitting inside a Chrysler 300, freshly purchased from the auction from a used car guy. Apparently he was driving it home from the used car auction. ABS light, or I don't know what light it is here, what's it say? Yeah, ABS, ESP, BAS light, and the throttle light, so your lightning bolt light and your check engine light. Having problems with those. Of course, he's having problems also with the all-wheel drive on this thing, but it does have mismatched tires, so I'm not super concerned with that. He wants us to check out this, ESP elemental P light over here for the ABS, and then the money light and the throttle light, as to why that was coming on. So we'll take and auto ID this thing. We'll pull up some data. I think it's a 2005. Get this stuff shut off. We'll find out here momentarily, see what codes it has in it, see what we can do. Those are the two lights I was talking about. And then the throttle lights over on the other side of the dash. So we are 2005 300C all-wheel drive touring. That's what this one, the fancy pants model with the tiny engine. We are going to read trouble codes out of all the modules, just see what's going on. I'll let this list populate and we'll see what we have. All right, she's all done thinking on us. So engine, we have a P2173, high airflow vacuum leak detected, slow accumulation. That's interesting. Implausible left wheel, distant signal received, ABS, torque request signal denied. Of course, that's pretty common to see. Oops, on a Chrysler with the money light on and ABS. Let's see. Then we got left rear wheel speed sensor erratic. Steering angle sensor not initialized, but he did say the battery's been dead, so that's probably why we're getting that one. And left rear tone ring performance, so it's probably a good thing to say. We're going to focus some of our efforts here on the left rear wheel. I will have to look into the airflow code here to see what's going on with that. So that's pretty interesting. Probably be an electronic. I'm just trying to think in my mind. So yeah, be an electronic throttle body. Okay. I guess we'll just start on the ABS. The car has no license plates on it, so we cannot drive it. We're going to pop it up here on the lift. See if we can just run it on the lift. See what the speed signals look like. Hopefully, we're able to do that, and all-wheel drive and everything works. Hey, Hannah. Can you raise this up so the wheels are off the ground?
I'll raise it all the way up.
Yeah. Front, left, rear. Okay, here we go. Expand those. Take it fired up. I hope our data's still live here. Drop in drive. Why does it lose communication? Probably because the ABS kicks on. Yep, son of a monkey. Doesn't matter what scan tool you're using there. Oops. I've seen this happens on a lot of different scan tools with Chryslers. As soon as the ABS becomes active, then it loses communication. So I bet that's what's going to happen, because we've got it up in the air. Let's just see if we can go slow and see anything. No. As soon as it kicks in, it drops communication. Dang it. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna let it back down. Hannah, we let it down. All right, let's try this. Let's just try backing out of the bay. Okay, so yeah, that left rear, I guess that's good enough data for us. We can see the other three wheel speed sensors. Make sure you're not backing into anything here. Getting close there, fella. Alright, yeah, so definitely something going on with that left rear. Okay, that's enough data. We don't need to drive it. Pull back inside the shop here. Or if this has active wheel speed sensors. Or if they're, what they are. Let's see. Okay, obviously the problem is with the left rear of some sorts, so let's start there. ABS, and we're in the trunk. I went underneath it, I took a peek at it. Took a little peek at service info. These are active wheel speed sensors, so gonna have supplied voltage, and then I believe, I didn't read this in service info, but typically how these work. So let's just look at here. You know, we got two twisted pairs that go down here through the trunk, through a connector, and then off to each wheel. Typically these will supply like 11 or 12 volts. And then the only way you can really see these is on a scope, because they have very, very small voltage variation. So let's say it's an 11, it's going to go from 11 to, let's say, like 11.1 or something like that. It'd be a very, very small digital square wave. And actually what the ABS controller typically looks at is the microamps, so the amps of change. So, you know, from, let's say, 9 milliamps to 17 milliamps might be its range. That's a lot of times what they look at. So we're going to take, because there's no place else to come into this, we're going to come right to the back of this bulkhead connector. We're going to find out who's who. Throw it on the Pico, just compare left to right and see, because underneath the car you can't see the sensor and you cannot see the back of the wheel bearing. So are we dealing with a bad sensor, or, you know, perhaps the tone ring on the back of the wheel bearing? And honestly, if you take it apart to visually inspect it, everything's broke. So let's just figure this out real quick and make the call, and then give the guy a call. All right, I just did the hokey pokey until I mean, you only got 50-50 chance. So I found the wires that do have the 12 volt supply being sent on them. So we'll get the scope rolling here. I'll get you guys zoomed in on this. Actually, I can see that sitting right where it is. Show you what's up. All right, so both of our sensors are running right about 12 volts. We're just key on, engine off. Let me just see here. We are channel A. Right, no, it's channel B. Yeah, 11.87. 11.87. Okay, so both of them are running about 12 volts. You know, granted, our battery's probably getting kind of weak in the car, so we're just keying engine off. We'll get a fresh screen here. I'm going to take and rotate the back tires. All right, let's see what we got. We can already tell it's all cattywampus, can't we? Of course, you guys probably can't, because it's very, very minute details here. But what we'll do is we'll pause it. Oops, figure out how to do that. Okay, we'll pause it. Now we're going to zoom in on a section here. Oh yeah, should be clear as day. Very repetitious pattern here. Okay, so our wheel speed signal should look like, you know, like I said, this is very small changes in voltage. So let me just show you what the good one looks like. Should be just this digital square wave coming out of it. Like I say, I'm pretty sure on these we can double check that the ECM doesn't look at the voltage, but indeed it looks at the amperage changes. Okay, so that's a good one there. No definitive markers on them as far as, you know, 360 degrees. You'd have to know how many teeth, you know, per revolution there are in order to see a full sweep. However, check out our bottom trace here. So our blue lead is hooked to the left rear wheel. This is the one that we're having problems with, and you can see she's missing some teeth. We'll go like this, and it is very repetitious, so this means our wheel speed sensor indeed is not failing. You know, nothing wrong. Whoops, enhanced a little too much there, fella. Try this again. So you see how we have, you know, essentially probably, you know, we have 3 changes. So, and then it comes around, and then 3 changes again, and it comes around. So likely it's plausible to say that this is, you know, 360 degrees. Good chance most of our magnet is missing inside the wheel where we cannot even see it. But, you know, quick simple test like this, we can easily see wheel speed sensor works. There's obviously something wrong with the tone ring. And these are going to be, like I say, those magnetic ones that go, you know, that are pasted to the back side of the wheel bearing. You guys have probably seen them, you know, some of the pressing ones that have the magnetic wheels strip on the back of the bearing. Of course, these are going to be hub assemblies on this, but without a, you know, without guessing, this is exactly what's wrong with the car. Speed sensor is good, tone ring is junk. We're going to leave it at that for right now, folks. Still got to look at his engine light. Now I had the two codes, one for the ABS and then the one indicating, you know, a vacuum leaks of sorts. Did look through some service data on that just to see what it entails. First thing we have to do is check for vacuum leaks, essentially as the code indicated. Check that out in another video. I'm going to take and use this opportunity or that opportunity to use the Ready Smoke again, which blows much better smoke now. I'll tell you about that. And then we're going to use that new easy intake in case you guys haven't seen that. That thing's pretty cool. Show you how that works. I'll use that as an opportunity in a totally separate video. So be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, I'm going to take and try to find some theory and operation on these active wheel speed sensors or digital wheel speed sensors, whatever you want to call them. And I'll try to put that somewhere where you guys can find it, because I'm sure I probably didn't explain it correctly. But needless to say, 100% can make the call on this. This guy just wants to know what's wrong with it, what part he needs to change, and that's it. So I'm going to head out of here for the day. He's not picking this thing up for a couple days, so I'll come back in on Monday. We'll check out what the deal is there with the vacuum leak business. Tell him what he's going to need there. We're not going to see the fix on his car, but hopefully we can see the diagnosis, and then you guys can be satisfied with that. Subscribe, Patreon, go down and ring that bell. Find us around. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.